So my name is Michael Arobo, and today I'll be giving my mini research project on the airplane. So basically, before we start, I think it's important that we understand what disruption means and what disruptive innovation is. So basically, disruption is it means when a radical change in an existing market or a disturbance that interrupts an event, activity, or process. Disruptive innovation, on the other hand, is the disruption that transforms a product that is mostly available to like a select few, like the rich or those who possess a lot of skills. It transforms that into a product that is more affordable and more accessible to the general public. Disruptive technology enables more people to have access to it and to its information. So this week, after watching the BBC video, the BBC documentary, and posting the discussions on Slack, the earliest technological innovation that had the biggest impact on humanity, in my point of view, was the aeroplane, and I say this for a couple of reasons. Uh, before we get into that, let's start with like a brief history and models. So power flights began over 100 years ago in 1903. Technology and aircraft design, of course, have changed a lot since then and have come a long way. Uh, from the technique and methods of flight, and they've improved to more like design based to meet the ever changing trends and the demands of and focus on profitability and efficiency. So in 1903, the first successful powered flight took place. Wilbur and Orville Wright flew the first powered airplane on December 17, 1903, near Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. The first attempt in 1903 was a simple one. The aircraft only flew for 37 meters and stayed airborne for 12 seconds. The brothers kept working on this, and by 1905 they built their third aircraft, known as Wright Flyer 3, which was capable of longer, more controlled flights. The longest test flight was in 1905, lasted for 39 minutes and covered over 38 kilometers. And after this successful test, the brothers disassembled the aircraft to prevent competitors and other people from stealing their ideas and copying it. And it wasn't until 1908, when the brothers had secured contracts from America and France, that it flew again. This time it was converted to carry a passenger. And in May 1908, the mechanic Charles Furnace became the first airplane passenger in history. For the disruption and how the airplane was developed, the outbreak of World War One in 1914 led to many companies and the government pushing for the development of aircraft for military purposes. The propeller-based technology developed for previous early aircraft was taken even further than before. Italy was one of the first countries to operate aircraft for reconnaissance, and in World War One, many other countries used this new and modified aircraft for photography, reconnaissance, bombing, and air-to-air combat. In terms of technology, one of the most significant developments came from the German engineer Hugo Junkers. His Junkers J1 aircraft, first flying in 1915, was the first aircraft to have an all-metal airframe, and this was very important for the later development of larger passenger aircraft. The development for military companies began to look for possibilities in ways they could earn even more revenue from passengers using their flights, and the first passenger service started in 1914. In January that year, St. Petersburg Tampa Airboat Line started a service between St. Petersburg and Tampa across the Tampa Bay Line in Florida. This 20-minute flight was a significant milestone, formed the start of commercial aviation, after which there was a Russian propeller-based aircraft into the civilian market. For the newer disruptions and what it has led to, the next major advancement for the airplane design was the introduction of jet engine. The development work on the jet engines began in the 1930s, and the first operational jet aircraft was the German Henkel HE-178 in 1939, and then the Messerschmitt Me-262, which saw military service in Germany. The first passenger jet aircraft, though, was the de Havilland Comet, entering service in 1952, which marked a significant step forward in aviation. So basically, as we can see, there is always a regular periodic envelope in which disruptive innovations happens in our lives that we don't even realize, which makes it hard for us to predict the futures. So we can basically, so we all we have to do is be optimistic and hope in the many possibilities that our technology holds. And the way we continue to use our technology is what continue to lead it into advancements and developments. These are the citations I found. Thank you.